And we are live. All right. It's been a while. I was away on vacation visiting my son, so back at it. I was going to stream yesterday, but a couple weeks away, yard work took over. Sun was hot and was a little bit sun pooched, so now we're going to make up for that. All right. What we're going to be doing today is more playtesting. Solitaire rules for Camp Piper. As you can see here, 16,600 words. Isn't that a lot? 19 pages of ASL, solitaire ASL goodness. Got 4 missions on the go. Most of this has been play tested. We're probably around the 90% completion rate. Just got to do a couple more finishing off campaigns to make sure that they've got the complete playtest. And I'm going to be doing the last campaign myself right here, number 4, Prayers in the Dark. Now, this is an extra one that came out in the ASL Journal. Originally, I think it came out in the ASL News. I'm not sure about the history of this one, but it's in ASL Journal number 3, and it is takes place on the Stumont map group. So this is the same time frame as the first campaign game, but it's only 4 dates, and basically the 20th p.m. through the full 21st p.m. So we're going to have a lot of out of gas for the Germans, as well as potentially ammo shortage levels as well, which are going to be taking effect as of 20 a.m. So one of the first rolls you're going to see is whether or not we actually start with the ammo shortage levels. Now, we're going to be kicking off with this first 20 p.m. date. And you can see right here, right now, we're only going to get 2 attack chits. The Germans who are defending with the system are going to get 2 as well. And we're going to be getting this here set up for the Germans. Now, interesting because much like the Leglise map, the Germans initially set up HIP, which is interesting because how do you do that in a solitaire game where you know both side setups? Very interesting. So I think I've worked out a way to make that happen. We're going to see how it works here. But yeah, so we're going to have 2 Panther sections, 2 Panzer Grenadier platoons with SPW 22 210 ones, and 2 MG platoons, which means 4 heavies and 4 mediums. So that's a lot to be hip. And it's a very narrow area where they're going to come in. You're going to see that in a second. In addition to which, they also have 36 AP of mines. Again, very small area. And they've 6 foxholes and 30 CPP as well. Now, how do we represent this? Well, I'm going to use a lot of reserves, and I'm not going to have the extra cost to bring them in front. You'll see how that all plays out. Now, what are we attacking with as Americans? We're going to be bringing in a medium tank platoon and 2 infantry platoons at the start, and 50 CPP, of which there's only going to be 2 left. I've spent most of my purchases on a 2nd tank platoon, some engineers, because who doesn't love flamethrowers, and then finally 2 more platoons to round off, as well as a medium mortar section, because a lot of woods, we're going to get those air bursts on the go, and hopefully decimate some more Germans. Now, my die rolls are really weird. 3 9-1s and 2 7-0s. It's kind of bizarre. Americans always start with full, so I don't have to worry about depletion, which is great. However, one of my companies, or platoons, I should say, is 2nd line. So 5-4-6s, I may have them lead the charge just so I can use them up. And I may end up actually deploying these into some more half squads to get some more scouting action on the go. On the other hand, one complete platoon was actually all gyros. I rolled for that, and I made up a table. See if you guys have trouble looking up in Chapter H. So right here is your results. So for the M4A1 series, which is what I have, a 3 or less on 2 dice, and or 1 die, I should say, and you have gyros. So the whole platoon came in with gyros, and on the first platoon, only one of them came with gyros, which is kind of weird. Now, what really sucked is that I didn't get any flamethrowers. I needed snake eyes, and it would have been nice if I would have got a flamethrower on the bunch, but I didn't. So, oh well. So this is what we have to attack with. Now, the problem is, this is what we're looking at here. All right, so this is the Stumont map group here. And we're looking at this area here. You can see these little red lines. I don't know if you can see them or not, but this is basically an 8 hex buffer around the entrance area, which is going to be basically this 2 arrows pointing towards each other. All right, it's a 9 hex area centered on this red arrow. this is the area that I have to come into. So right away, you can see, let's turn off all this other shit. And I'll turn that off to, there we go. So you can see choke point, we got a ford through all the woods. Choke point, we've got a single road through all the woods. And in order to win this scenario, I need to get 3 LVP, of which there's one here, and the other one is here. All right, so I've got 2 Panthers, 2 Panzer Grenadier platoons, 4 heavies, and 4 mediums, all hiding in this woods area somewhere. And I've got some reserves to deal with, so I don't know how that's going to happen. What I've done to account for the hip is I'm basically going to use what I did in the Leglise campaign game. So for that, let me turn everything back on. I'm going to give him 20 suspect counters. Anytime one of these guys here, these are my reinforcements as well as my initial first turn guys. Anytime they enter a hex in line of sight of the setup area, I'm going to roll a die, and if I roll a final one, it's going to activate a unit, or it's going to make a suspect appear. I'm going to roll to see if it activates. If it activates, it's going to try and kill whatever's there. If it fails, something else may activate, and so forth. Eventually, all these 20 are going to be whittled away, and then we're going to see what's going to happen. Assuming that enough American forces survive, I'm going to be able to fight my way through these reserves. Now, because in the scenario there's only 30 CPP, you can see this is way more than what 30 CPP would buy. What I've done is I've given these gray suspects a +2 to their activation check. Now, I originally have a 3 to, right, you can see right here, this is my activation check number is a 3. So with my parameters that I need to roll, which you can see under this platoon here, it's going to be very difficult to get an activation anyways. So more than likely, most of those grays are going to be nothing. They're going to be dummies. So it's going to be, and I should mention as well the mist, the ever-present mist in Camp Piper. One reason why people don't like this scenario. Right now we're dealing with very heavy mist. So it's going to be an LOS hindrance, not a low visibility hindrance. So this means moving in open is going to be negated with every step, and it's going to be that much more difficult to actually activate anything, which means even more of these guys are going to become dummies. So if I can survive 20 suspects that will be activated, potentially, then I have a very good chance of taking my 3 LVPs for the night. So that's the general plan. Hopefully it works out. We got 2 platoons of tanks, and we've got 4 platoons of infantry and 1 platoon of engineers to win the day, and 2 mortars that can hopefully, if we have any Germans hiding in the woods, a couple of air bursts will hopefully see them running away. So that is the layout. Now, my forces, as I said, this is what's coming on at the start. Tanks are unbuttoned so that I can guarantee pretty well my command die rolls to make sure I make it on board. I do have a half squad scout in each platoon. However, I'm thinking of deploying one of these guys here again, maybe using more scouts to get some early activations. I don't mind losing the 5-4-6 half squads. I'd much rather lose that than losing a tank. And if I can activate guys out here, I know what's going to be coming for my next guys that are going to enter the play. I should mention these areas here as well. These light blue areas are what we call mined areas. Now, again, because this is solitaire, you know where everything is. How do you account for minefields? What we've come up with, or what I've come up with and borrowed heavily from a couple of other guys, including Andrea Fantozzi's SASL++, the MGP program that he's got going on, is mined areas. Now, what that is, it's a 6 hex radius around an objective hex. So this forward is an objective hex. It's going to be occupied by an enemy more than likely, and it then becomes a strategic location, and it's a 6 hex radius around it. Anytime I roll a booby trap level B, which for me is going to be an 11 because that's what I rolled, then I'm going to trigger a booby trap. And because we also have to worry about mines as well, or AT mines potentially, we're also going to cripple ourselves by giving us AT mines potentially against vehicles. And if my vehicle rolls a command die roll of an 11, we're going to have an AT mine attack potentially as well. So again, this is all playtesting to see how it works. This may be too powerful and throw too much into the way of the enemy. But again, that's what playtesting is all about, to see how it works. So in the one playtest I did, this wasn't horrible. I didn't get a lot of hits. But again, the more armor you have, the more chance of getting a strike. I can see this playing a huge difference in the first campaign group when you have, or first campaign game when you have, what, 80 CPP for the Germans, if they're playing as the attacking the US and the US has booby traps. I could see a lot of anti-tank rolls going against the Germans, but maybe that's historical. All right, enough babble. Let's get into things. So first things first, we'll do the wind change, no effect, and then the mist die roll. Again, we have no effect on that. So we're going to be stuck with very heavy mist. Again, a +1 to all our lines of sight. Now let's start with the command roll for the 9-1. We can affect the tank that we're in, and I didn't roll any armor leaders either, which kind of sucked. So let's start with this 9-1, and we'll do our command die roll for him. All right, so off to a good start. So putting some markers down. So he's in command as the tank with him, which means this guy here, my first sacrificial lamb, is going to move first. Now, I was looking for this answer online. I could not find it. I was wondering, can you dash from off-board location into an onboard location? I don't see why you couldn't. You're not throwing smoke from an off-board location. You're just moving from an off-board location. I don't know if you can do it though, so I'm assuming I can't. So I'm just going to move normally. I'm going to go 1. We're not going to CX. We're just going to go 1. Right away, we're going to roll for potential activation. We have, I should mention if I wasn't clear, but basically the Germans set up on this hex row R or to the south. So they can't be anywhere in RR and to the south. So we have potentially 1, 2, not this guy, but 3 locations that I could potentially have a guy appear. And the first thing we're going to do is probably do the LVP in the building. It has the best chance of activation because I've given that location a bunch of modifiers. So we have TM for the location versus modifier, so that's a -3. Strategic locations a -3, and then another -1. So this is going to be a guaranteed 1. We'll just roll this for anyways. I forgot to do my ammo shortage level, so I didn't roll a 12, which is great. So the SS don't suffer from ammo shortage so far, and that's going to be an additional +1 going forward for every day, campaign game date after this. So I don't have to worry about it until the nighttime attack if that happens. All right, so this is an automatic activation, so we're going to grab one of our 20 suspects, slap them down in the old house, and now we're going to do an activation die roll. Now again, we have given the house a bit of an advantage. What we've done is normally, for you guys that have never played Solitaire before, you look at this table. This is your G1 activation check. This determines when you roll for activation, all right? We're negating that for the black because we want them to activate under certain conditions because they're hip. So we're not going to look at this table. We're going to automatically roll for activation because we're looking for a 1 or less, depending on those parameters like I just pointed out. Now for the actual number we need, we look at our activation check number, which we said was a 3, and we're going to add modifiers based on what what we need for that number to be reached. So we're in a strategic location. We're at a -1. Nothing else applies. And we're going to add a further -2 because of this SSR right here. So anything but a 6 means we're going to get an activation. Better not roll a 6. If it was a 6, I would have changed it, overruled it, and I would have activated it. There's no way we're going to get an enemy, or no enemy appearing in this location here. So we have an enemy appearing. What are we going to get? We have a custom table, and let's see what we roll. All right, I just rolled a 7. However, again, we have dial modifiers, so we have a strategic location. We add 2, and we're going to get a half squad. We're going to get a heavy weapon, which for us, because again, Camp Phillipe has different rules for heavy weapons. They have heavies, machine guns manned by their own half squad. So we're actually going to have 2 half squads with a heavy weapon. All right, so let's get into that. We'll get 2 348s down. Let's increase the zoom factor a little. 150, I think, is better. Alrighty, and now what do we get? A heavy or a medium? We have a heavy. And then lastly, we roll a fortification. We rolled a 1, so a fortified building we get out of that. Which is just about what I wanted in that building. The only thing that would have made this better was maybe a 75 long. Maybe a leader would have been about the only thing that would have made this a little bit better. So right now we have 2 half squads and we have a heavy as well. Now, one thing I forgot to calculate was the IFT factor. So this would have been a +1 for the mist. Mist modifier is up here. So we have a 2x range. We have a +1 with a -1 for non-assault move. So it's going to cancel. So it's going to be 0 anyways. So we're going to have 0 modifier. And I'm thinking, do we even want to waste fire on a half squad? This is where one could decide as a solitaire player, do I overrule the system or not? There's nothing wrong with doing that, I think, as a solitaire player, because as I've said several forums and posts on Discord, there is absolutely nothing wrong with giving the enemy a hand. Sometimes it really does need a helping hand from the player, because it cannot account for everything. Would a real human player fire a 7 firepower machine gun at a half squad? Probably not. But on the other hand, you never know, right? Because we don't know what this guy's going to do. Now, if I move closer, I'm going to have to be constrained with my other fire. I could fire a 2 firepower, 0 modifier at this guy. That might be doable. So let's do that. Let's fire the 2 firepower at him. All right, that's a waste. And that would be 1 residual firepower. However, the miss would probably reduce that because it's a hindrance. LOS hindrance. It's not an LV hindrance. So it's not going to be any residual. And this guy that will then be free to move. Now, I didn't say CX, but I'm going to come here for 2. Yeah, see here, we run into problems, right? How many guys do I roll to activate? Because right now I'm breaking my own rule. I must engage a friendly until it's no longer good order. Otherwise, the second will be activated, repeated until it's either no longer good order or there's no eligible spawn points. But I don't feel good about wasting a heavy machine gun on a half squad. Imagine if I broke this machine gun and all this is still waiting to enter the board. Uh, well, I guess I can't anyways because I've already fired it. I can't fire on this guy now if I wanted to. What we're going to do is we're going to check this location here for a suspect. So once more, I roll my die. All right, I rolled a 6. So that means this hex here cannot have a suspect in the future. And what we're going to do to represent that, we're just going to throw in one of these perimeter ones. And we'll use this guy here. Turn down the opacity a bit. And we're going to use that to mark hexes that can no longer have suspects. And then let's do this guy here. So this will be a +1. We're going to have a +1 for line of sight hindrance. +1 for the mist difference because it'll be a +2 with a -1 on assault. So it'll be net +2. With a -1 for the terrain. So it's going to be +1. So there's no way this guy's going to be able to activate. So I cannot roll. There's no point rolling. Which means this guy's going to be able to move for 2. All right, we'll final fire this guy. So this will be again a 2. Now we're going to be at a +1 for mist, -1 for non-assault. So it's going to be a 2 flat again. And it just cowered, so no effect. This time there will not be any residual because it'll be on the 1 table. 2. Now, if I pop this guy here, it's going to be a -1 for the woods, +1 for the orchard would cancel, +1 -1 would cancel. So it would be a 0 modifier, which means, according to this, or actually it would be a -1 because of this factor right here. So on a 2 or less, we could have an activation in QQ25. All right, so we do have an activation. Grab another guy. All right, roll an AC. And we rolled a 2. Again, success. What do we get? This up 2. We finally get our gun. 75 long AT, but again, do we want to waste 75 long and a half squad? We're getting the rolls. We're not using them properly. That's going to be a fortification. That's a 2. Now, we do have modifiers for the table. A5 is a -1. So that would be actually a 1, which means an entrenchment or an obstacle. So we roll a 5, which is an entrenchment, which means we're going to get a trench in the woods to support our gun. All right, so there we have a trench. Then we have a German 75. Pack 40. Well, I'm going to overrule it, and I'm not going to fire because that would just be a waste. I'm going to wait for this tank to come on board. I'm not going to fire. We're going to activate this guy. He's going to be the same thing, a 2 or less. Yeah, that would be a -1 +1. -1 +1 would cancel, so that would not be anything. So that means this guy here will also not be eligible for a suspect. And nothing else here can see. You're in the valley, so you can't really see. You could be in a depression here in crest status, but it's not concealment terrain, so that would not apply. And you can't see here, I don't believe. Yeah, you could see. That would be a +2 with a -1. With a -1 for being 1 unit. That means you would have a 0 modifier. So you have a chance with a 1. I'm not going to roll that because I don't want to lose that spot. All right, so we're going to go this way for 4 move. And you're going to end your move there. Now, because I'm solitaire and this guy, I would not know that he's here. I'm going to pretend that he's not here, which means I'm going to have to do this guy anyways. We need a command roll from the tank. All right, so we make it. We're going to button up. And we're going to use Armored Assault, and we're going to come into TT-23. This guy here is going to fire his heavy. It's going to be a +1 for mist. 1 for the tank. Non-assault will bring it down to a +1. So it's going to be a 6-up 1. 8 on the 6 will be a pinning. And he's fine. And I have rate. All right, now I'm going to fire. Should probably wait because we're going to be at a +2. 3 for the orchard. 2 for motion vehicles, a +5. I've only seen him for 1 move. It's going to be another +7. A 3 or less would hit. I'm not going to fire, but the American tank is going to pop smoke in this location. And he's got a smoke mortar with a 5 depletion. 5 depletion, yeah. All right, let's try smoke mortar. Can you fire the smoke mortar while you're on the move, or is that a smoke discharger? Why am I blanking on that? I believe you can, because it is a smoke discharger on a vehicle, so you should be able to fire it while you are in motion. You only get the 1 shot. Yeah, case A doesn't apply. So we have a case A application if he changes his covered arc. And this is a guy without a gyro. Not that it matters. It would be only a +1 anyways. Either way. Let's fire the smoke mortar towards that building. It doesn't matter anyways. He wouldn't have got it. So that's 1. Let's go bypass for 2. Infantry will occupy the woods. It's going to cost them... Oh, shit, that's a woods gully. I'd have to pay 4 to go into that gully, which would cost them a CX. That would be 5 move total. How do I do this? How do I do this? If I CX, I would be inside the gully. I could advance into this gully, which would bring me adjacent to this house, but I wouldn't be able to enter it anyways. I'd have to leave the gully because these are not the same level with this intervening upper level in the way. If I come into here, I'm going to get blasted with 12 firepower. $12 with a +1. I think that's okay. I'm going to take that. 12 up 1. Let's do that. All right, so 12 up 1. Famous last words. Still got rate. 12 up 1 should be a 6 on the 12. Should be only a 1 or a 2 check. Yeah, 2 check. All right. Now those guys are kind of going to have to run off the board now. Still got rates. That was 2. If I want to run into that building... Actually, I can't because I have to... I'm basically out of movement now because of this guy here. Now, the question is do I drop my concealment and fire? Well, I don't drop it. I have a chance of retaining it. What would my shot be? +1 for the orchard. -1 for target size. We have a +1 for mist. -1 for 2 hex range, which I don't think I get because it's moving. Yeah, target's motion, so I don't get that. So orchard target size cancel. +1 motion vehicles a +3. We saw him for 2. It's going to be a +4 now. Would be a 6 or less would have hit. So let's do that. 6 or less to hit. Well, there goes my concealment. Now this guy's going to go, holy shit, we got an AT gun. And I can't even take a second shot if I want to because I've only expended that. And I've made my smoke mortar attempt, which means I can't try and do anything. So basically this guy here is kind of pooched. All right, moving on down. This guy is crew exposed, which means the 9-1 can command him. This guy's going to button up. And we're going to go... Ooh, do we want to move armored assault? I don't think we do, because we want to come this way. One, 5 into the gully. If I want to crest the gully, I think I would have to pay 2 more to crest the gully without leaving the woods. Yeah, I'd have to, I think to gain crest status, I would need to pay 2 crest status here. I could advance into crest status. Yeah, I'd have to, I could pay 1 and then I can go into the crest status for a total of, or into the gully for a total of 5. I would be protected with a +1 for mist, 1 for the woods, -1 on assault from this guy's fire. And then I could advance up. Hey, Bob. Yeah, we're gonna keep up at it. We got a whole bunch of hassles that we have to do, and this is going to be one of the first, well, second one, I guess. Festung Budapest is already done, handed in. And yeah, Camp Group Piper. Dusting off the Piper. Yeah, let's do that. So we're not going to CX. What we're going to do is we're going to come into here for 1. That would be a plus 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. It's probably going to be a +2. 2 hexes. Yeah, +2. 3 for the orchard. 1 for non-assault. Would be a +2. 2 units would bring it down to a 0, which means it would be at a -1 because of the TM for the woods, which means you would have a 2 or less chance to activate this guy here. Yeah, okay, let's try that. 2 or less. All right, we have an activation. All right. Activation, it's tis. Alrighty, let's put him here. Let's see what we get. Activation die roll, forthcoming. Survey says we get a 1, and then we get a 5. Up 2 is a 7. 7 is no. Wait, that's a woods. Woods location is a -1. We're saved by the -1. That means we get this. All right, so 658 with a leader and a support weapon. Okay, we can deal with that. 658. All right, and then a leader, an 11. Well, that's not going to do. -1's a 10. Still no leader. That sucks. Too late in the day or too early in the day to get this. So we're not going to get a leader, which blows. Support weapon is a 2, which is an LMG. Okay. And then we have a half track, 250, 251. All right, we're going to put him in bypass. Oh, you're in down slope too. Now that's not going to affect your line of sight at all. If I understand slopes correctly, which I probably don't. Slopes are very difficult for me to understand, much like most line of sight things. You're down slope, but you should not affect this line of sight because you're adjacent to the slope for one thing. Now, again, we're going to have a +1 for the orchard. +2 for mist is a +3 total. We're going to have -1 for non-assault. It's going to be net +2. And we're going to have 12 firepower. 12 up to... Well, that sucks. All right, so that's going to be reduced by, I guess 1, 2, 3. So be on the 6, 4, 2, 1. No residual. Wow, that sucks. That sucks indeed. All right, so that's 1, and then we're going to come in here for a total of 5. This guy's going to fire again. Is going to be on the 12 up 2. Yeah, 12 up 2. 8 on the 12 is a 1 check for the 9-1. And the 5-4-6 is not good enough. And we no longer have rate on the heavy, so we're cooked out. Alrighty, and then we can move our tank. Now this guy does have a gyro. We do have the guy here to worry about, but now this guy popped up, which is kind of good, but we still have 2 hexes here that we have to worry about something surprising us. So I got to be careful how I move my tank. So I'm not going to move him right now. Let's move this guy first. And we're going to use non-assault and come into here. Now this guy would have a +1 for mist, 1 for orchards, +2, -1 on assault, -1 for unit would be a flat 0, would be a 1 or less. So that's no activation, which means you can't appear there. This guy would be the same. Okay. All right, so you appear there. Activation check. Now you're going to have a -2 with nothing else applying. A 6 will still be a miss. That might be too much. The -2 might be too much. The problem we have here is that, again, per the scenario here, they have 2 Panther sections, maximum of 4 tanks. We have 2 Grenadier platoons, maximum of 6 sections, or 6 squads. And we have 4 half squads from these guys. So that should be a total of 10, 14 counters. And we have 20 to play with. Now, there's only a 1 in 6 chance of failure if they activate. So having a -2 might be too much. If I make it a -1, that might not be enough. Well, let's play it out and I'll see what's what. Then we can always adjust it later. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so what do we get? 7, we are in a nothing. 7 is, well, there we go. So we got our first dummy. And it just balanced out because a 7 is nothing. And we have no wood or strategic location to worry about because we are in that location. So once more, you cannot be anything either. So that was 1. Let's go bypass for 1. For 2. And this guy here is going to final fire. That'll be on the 2 table with a +1, +2 with another +2 as well. So +4, down 1, +3 on the 2. Probably not even worth firing. Well, 5 on the 2 is an NMC. Yeah. All right, so that's ELR. All right, so now we have our tanks. We know what's here. This guy's final fired, and we can get down to a little bit of business. We now have targets for our infantry up here, and how do I deal with this guy here? 5.46s are just garbage. I was hoping this guy to at least live with the 9-1. A tank that's surely going to die. All right, so start up. You're already in motion, I should say. So this is going to be 1. Let's pivot for 2. We'll come down here for 3, and we're going to stop there. This guy's going to button up after he does a command die roll. And we're going to come here for 1. Let's pivot for 2, 3, 4. 3, and we'll stop for 4. Yep. All right, now over here, this 9-1 command die roll. And let's start with, do I start with him? I've already final fired, which is great. If I come into here for 1, 2 for the barbed wire, 4 would put me in the woods. Activation possibly from RR18, and that's about it. I think I would probably final protective fire. I am an SS 658, so that's probably a good chance of doing that. So let's come in here for 1. Don't want to do that. These guys are 666s, so I don't think I want to force the final protective fire just yet. I mean, I've been rolling pretty good for the SS. Maybe time for them to break. I don't know. I could play it safe and just advance into that location. Or I could wait, see how these guys make out, and then I could push in. That might be a better move. All right, this guy here is command die roll. Yeah, the tanks. He's in command. Let's button up. We're going to use... That's not what I wanted. All right, we're going to use Armored Assault. We're going to come here for 2. And I forgot about the off-road movement there as well because of the soft ground. That's 2. So let's roll for... we have 2 locations here. Or 3, actually. No, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. That could possibly activate 4, 5... 5 locations randomly located. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that was kind of randomness. And it's going to be you. You're going to have a +1, +3 for the mist. You're going to have -1 for the woods is a +2. 2 units would bring it down to a 0. And IFT for the tank would bring it down to... No, I can't count that. So it would be a 1 or less to activate a unit. IFT die roll modifier would be +1, +3. -1 for non-assault would be a +2. -2 cancel. -1. Yeah, there's no way this guy would activate. It's going to have to be this guy here. He would have a +1 for mist, -1 for woods. He would have a +1 for... Excuse me, a -1 for friendly moving unit. 2 or less and he would be activated. Yep. No. All right, and then we check this location here. He'll need a 1. We have a +1 for mist. -1 for... Oh, wait a minute. +1 for mist. -1 for woods. -1 for unit. -2 for unit because there is a tank there as well. Would be a -1. So that actually would have activated. Let me take that back. So that's going to be an activation there. Gets very confusing. All right, so this will be an activation. Now, let's roll that. All right, so that's a dummy. All that for nothing. Whoop. Now we can do it again. All right, this guy would be a 2 now, and that would be an activation. Potential. Right, 2 will be activated as a 3. We have a Panther. Great, toe-to-toe with a Panther. That's fun. Now 2x is away, so he's going to be buttoned up. And chance for an armor leader. 10 will be no. Almost an experienced crew. Well, actually, no, he's a Panther, so he wouldn't have an experience. Well, maybe. Tigers wouldn't, but Panther maybe. All right, so let's blast the infantry with our 8 firepower machine guns with a +1 for mist, and that'll be it. So nothing from the machine guns. And then we'll hit the tank with our main armament. We have button up +1, mist +2, +4 for moving. Another +2 for only seeing it for 1 move. No, 2 moves. So that would be a +1. That'll be a 5. Large target brings it down to a +4. Buttoned up, mist. Motion vehicle is 4. 2 hex, 2 movement factors will be a 5, and large target bring it down to a 4. 6 or less will hit. That is a miss. That is a miss, no acquisition. All right, you just faced down a Panther and you took one off the Glacius plate. That is interesting. Luckily you got a bazooka, but you're useless against a frontal. What do we do now? All right, so infantry did 1, the tank did 2. What else can activate? You would be at a +1, +2, 3, 4 for the mist. So there's no way you guys are activating now. You're too far away. So no more activations possible unless I move, which I can't do because I got a Panther in my way. Jesus, what do I do now? It would have to move into SS18. I could try and move into RR17, but then I would block this guy's path. Maybe I move into SS18. I did 2 move there for the tank. 3 for the barbed wire. 4, 5 for here. This would cost me half my move, which would be 7 rounded up, would be 12. 4 for an overrun. I'd have to do excessive speed. It's not going to happen. And I'm doing armored assault. I don't have to move anyways, so I couldn't do it if I wanted to. If I move into SS18, you're focus fired on this guy. Maybe this guy can come around and I can maybe do a side shot on the Panther that way. At the loss of this guy here. If I sacrifice these guys, I can maybe move you into these woods. Sorry. If you're watching Clanky there, I don't have the Discord up because it messes up my microphone. Yeah, that's a good point. A good point there, Clanky. Yep. Yep. All right, thanks, Frank. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't have Discord open because it messes up my microphone setting for some reason, so that's why I don't have it open. Yeah, I'll stipulate that in the where should I put that in? That's got to be in the activation 5 something or other. 5.71 or something. Somewhere in here. At any rate, I'll find a spot and I'll put it in there that guns and support weapons could always check fire instead of wasting it on something as stupid as a half squad. I'm pretty sure Andrea has that in his MG SASL++. All right. Yeah, so if I sacrifice this tank and that squad for here, I can maybe move this guy around here, take out the Panther, maybe. Too bad I'm going to lose a bazooka. This guy could move into the woods then. Assuming these guys FPF against here, I might be able to risk moving into here and then taking that shot. If I move into here and live, I could always advance into combat. Would that be stupid, though? This guy's got that combat shotgun. 16 on the IFT. Woof. Not better to blow him up. Point blank with a bazooka might be not a bad thing. Vehicle to kill, heat, 16. Nothing for range, eh? If I get a critical. All right, let's do that. So we're going to come over the wire with a bog. All right, we don't bog, so that's good for that. You guys are going to FPF onto the squad. Hope for a break, they don't. Axis sniper, so no joy. And unfortunately, that's going to be a 5 on the 6 is going to be a 1 check. And they break. I don't think we're at battle stations enough to fire intensively yet. I don't think I'm going to do that. This would be 6 down on the 2, so it would be a 1 residual in that location. And then you guys need to make a command roll. Button up. We are not going to use armored assault. You're going to come here for 2. This guy here would be at a +1 for the orchard, 2 for the mist, -1 for the woods, -1 for the unit would be a 0. IFT modifiers would be a +2, +3 with a -1, +2. So you're not going to activate. If I crest the, or if I cross the barbed wire into here, this guy has a chance of activating, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to have to come this way. If I move here, I have a chance of activating this guy here, which I don't want to do, but it's safer for my Sherman. If I move here, I can turn, pivot, and then I can come in here sideways and get a nice flank shot on the Panther. But my only fear is I'm going to activate something here. At least I'll be facing that way. Let's do it. What the hell? All right, so we're going to barbed wire and into that road for a total of 5. And we don't bog. It's a lot of sniper rolls for my bog checks. All right, so this guy's going to activate. Yeah. Right, so we get one more. And what do we get? Survey says, oh, wait, I need one of these. We have a 4. 4 will activate. We rolled a 7 in the woods. Is going to be a 6. Squad with a half track. So 658 and a half track, which is not bad. They're not going to street fight us, and they can't really do much except for Panzerfaust, which would really suck if they get a Panzerfaust off. And one of these. Oop. Not quite what I meant. All right, Panzerfaust check. Of course they have one. And do they hit? Where's my Panzerfaust? One hex range, we have an 8. We have a +1 for mist. Large size is -1 cancel. We have 2 hex or 2 move. 2 movement factors. No. Large target and miss cancel. We have motion vehicles +2. We've seen it for 5, so that is plenty of move. So it's going to be a 6 or less to hit. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's a flame. That's a flame. Kerplunk. I'll just mark him with the first fire. Well, that was not fun. All right, so yeah, that sucked. Well, I've just lost my platoon. I've got 1 tank left. This guy's going to die next turn when the Panther hits him. So if I play cautiously now, I'm going to have to come into here. I'll advance into the woods in the advance phase. You guys are going to have to advance into here. Or assault move into there. You're going to assault move into there. That'll be it for that. Defending fire phase. I don't think I have anything left to shoot. No point. No point. No point. Advancing fire. No, because it's all dead except for this guy. So let's do a 6 up 2 into this location. No effect. I could do the main gun. No special ammo. And a 75 is going to do shit against the front of a Panther. So I'm not going to bother. Let's try these guys here, though. Maybe we can get lucky. And we're going to roll to hit on the woods. No effect. Yes. Double, yeah. All right. This is really going shit. Pear-shaped, I believe, is the word that they use. All right, here, let's go a 6 up 4, 5 with the miss. That's not going to work. And no point doing that. Too much in the way. So let's go to route phase. You guys are going to have to come into the woods. You guys will have to come this way. Which is fine. It is a hindrance, so they can go to that location, I guess. Low crawl, so I don't have to roll to get off the board right away. And then we go advanced phase. Less than glorious, I must say. Let's go to here. And well, let's throw you under here, suicidally. And you're going to jump under there. Then you're going to come here. That was not a stellar turn, as they say. But I got to be honest, I really wasn't expecting too much out of that first turn. On the plus side, I can only get one more Panther. No, we can only have a maximum of 4 Panthers and 2 guns. So right now I've got 1, and I got 1. So 3 more Panthers and possibly 1 more gun out of this whole area. So, I mean, that's a lot. That's a tall order. So we'll see how that pans out. More importantly, I've only got what is that? 9 to 4, 13 more counters left to activate, to play with. Right, wind change. And mist. No mist. All right, that comes off. Yeah, not an open ground. Here, let's roll. We need force, top down. 1, 2. Well, that sucked. And that'll come off too. All right, we have prep fire. Now, we don't have any OBA, I believe. It's only on their prep fire for the Germans. Yeah, all right, so 14 or 15. 35. So no artillery strike from them. That's great. That's the last thing we wanted. Not that they really have any place to go anyways. All right, so other things we have to worry about happening. We have no reinforcements to worry about because I dealt with reserves rather than guys coming on board. So we just have to worry about actions. Let's start up top here. And we'll do our action die roll. All right, so that is a move command. However, we do have units directed to our front, so let's just fire on that. And we're going to fire with the half tracks. That's going to be on the 16 table. +1 for the mist. Smoke will bring it up to a +3. The wreck will be a +4 total on the 16. 9 on the 16 will be a 1. That's plenty for an ELR. Panic would be nice. That's not enough to panic. And point blank, let's fire the machine guns first at the pesky half squad. That's going to be on the 16 up 2. I hope this luck doesn't continue at KASL tomorrow. By the way, I'm going to KASL tomorrow, so I'm not going to be streaming anything until probably Tuesday when I get back on Monday. K3. Well, nice knowing you. And then we're going to blow up that Sherman with a gun. Unless I roll that. Now, that is +1 for mist. Buttoned up is +2. Large target and 2x range bring it down to a -1, so that's going to hit. In the turret, which is weaker armor. So to kill, yep, another flame. All righty then. Right here. I tell you, 5 ELR SS are no joke. Fire command. So we're going to have 9, 6, 12, 24 firepower with a +2. It's going to cower 12 on the 16. No, I guess it'd be the 20. 12 on the 10 on the 20 is a 1 check. 9-1. And the squad, holy shit, we lived. Paybacks. And no rate of fire. Something lived. Unbelievable. All right, you guys. And let's fire. I guess we can't fire anything. That is a move command. Now, we got nowhere to move. I think we could advance into hand or close combat. However, we're only a half squad, which means we're going to need a base 3. Which I am not liking. So let's leave you guys for now. Let's worry about this guy. And he doesn't panic because he's a crew. And we're going to roll to hit. +1 for miss, 2 for the orchard. Large target brings it down to a +1, 9 or less to hit. That is a hit, 1 shot, and we have a hull hit to kill. Should be enough. 75 long is a 17, 3 hexes, nothing. Down 11 is a 6. Holy shit, it lived. Do I worry? Let's intensifier. Once again, Dave laughs at me right now. Yeah. Oh well, you have to try, right? Okay, so that is it for that. Movement, we have none. Defending fire. Well, we don't have much. Let's start with you. And that is command die rolls good. So we're going to have 20 firepower with a +1 coming back at everything there. 10 on the 20s, one check. All right, so the crew would get a +2. 3 for the woods. So +3 to that would be a 12 on the 20. Is a pinning for the crew. So they're fine. And then we get a 10 against the infantry, so that's going to be one check. Holy shit. Wow. Very painful, but we have something in the way of success. You're not going to bother firing, not much point. You can't do squat. You are not in command. AFVs have a -1. US has a further -1. So you are going to be in command. Okay, so let's fire into you with the machine gun. So it's going to be a 6 doubled as 12 up 5. Okay. 1 and the bow. So the BMG is X'd out or melfed. And let's fire the main gun into that building as well. Yeah, the gun's not a threat right now. Let's do the building. And that will probably miss. We have a +4 for the building, 5 with the mist, 6 for buttoned up, 2x range brings it down to a +4. That would definitely miss. All right, and then this guy here is going to fire on the crew. We're going to have +1, 2 for the orchard, 4 for the mist, 6 for the trench, 6 on the 6. And no point firing the gun, you're going to miss anyways. All right, you panic, so never mind. Route phase, you have to go. I guess you're going to run back to here. You guys will have to low crawl 1 hex. And then advance phase. All right, so do we want to advance? I think we do. Let's come down this way. We have to be wary. These guys are coming on now, so do we want to do that? I think so. This is going to kind of keep things out of the way. And remember that they can only come... Oh, wait, they can come in this way, too. Let's come this way here. No, that would CX you because you're going uphill. You're fine. You'll stay where you are. Panther is fine. You guys are fine. I don't think I want to do the close combat thing. Yeah, all right. That's fine. And then we're into the turn 2. All righty then. Yeah, not too bad. We're looking all right. From the German perspective, anyways. Mortars, where do I set them up? Three hex range. I believe it's 3 hex. Yeah, 3 hex range. I'd love to blow them into this thing here. So if I move you into this location, I can pepper this location for a long time. This hill might not be a bad spot as well. I am kind of constrained. I only really have this hex spine to look down. All right, let's do that. You guys come in this way. For that matter, I think we're going to assemble and we're just going to manhandle them in. It's an 11 manhandle, so it should be quite doable. We got gyros and all their guns. I need to deal with this panther, so I think I'm going to have to put a flamethrower onto his ass. Maybe even a DC. All right, if I use the smoke from the vehicle to cover my approach, one, two, three, four. So if I come in this way, yeah, this is the problem. I got 7 zeros everywhere. All right, if I use a 9-1 here, put the 7-0 in with the flamethrower. His command dial will pass to him. It means you guys will all be in command. You guys can sit here. I'll give you a scout. I need a bazooka up there. You're going to come over here. Help this guy out. You guys are going to be my other attack group up top, which means I'm going to need you, you, and you right here. 2 hexes away from this guy. And that means I can then have 1, 2. Give you a scout. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Two, 2. You have to be 2 away, so you're going to stay over here. Yeah. All right, 2 away. Yeah, okay, I think we're set. Everybody's within 2, so we can get good command die rolls. We're set. Let's do wind change and mist change. We have a decrease in mist. That is super handy. Now we are down into LV hindrances, which means we're only going to be at +1 for most ranges, maybe +2 for 4 hex range. So it's now FFMO will not be negated. Excuse me. Good or bad, I don't know. Probably could have not used that right now, to be honest. All right, let's do, we got some rallies to do. Self-rally this bazooka. Hell yeah, Bubba. And I think that is all I can do. You'll get rid of that. Over here we have two 9s top down. 1, 2. And a broken bow. Gone for good bow. And then we do the Germans. This guy here is gone. And a broken gun. Too bad. It would be nice to see that gone. All right, and then we'll go into the prep file. Prep file. All right, well, it's only a half track. I don't know if I want to waste shots on that, but I suppose I have. I don't want to jump on him just yet. I could overrun it with my tank. Bypass, start for 1, bypass for 2, 3, 4, no. 1, that would be 4 because of the soft ground. It would have to be another 10 because of this. Yeah, that wouldn't do it. Start for 1, that would be 2. This would be 7 and 4 is 11. It would be 13 move on the nose. 13 move on the nose to overrun this position. So I think we're going to do that. I don't think I have any shots, except for maybe this. +1 for the mist, 4 for the buildings, a +5. Down 1 would be a +4. And we have 12 firepower, 12 up 4. Let's get a command die roll. All right, we're good. 12 up 4. Let's see how that does. 12 up 4. Not good. This guy here is going to fire his 20 firepower. We have a +1 for the woods, +1 for mist, +2 for crew exposed, and +4 down 1. So it's 20 up 3. That'll be a 10 on the 20, which again is going to be a 1 check. And they're fine. Sniper, though. Sniper is cold. So that was no rate. Prep fired out. Okay. Bazooka is used from the front, unless I get a critical, which I don't bank on. So I'm going to have to move into the flame to get that shot, but I want to save that for my flamethrower guy. So I think I'm going to go to move right now. Let's go to move. And we'll try and work around it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an overrun here. So let's get rid of this guy. Let's do a command die roll first. Might be a moot point. All right, so we made it. Start for 1. This will be 2. Declare our overrun. We're going to enter the hex for a total of 7 move, +4 for the overrun is 11. With R2, will put us at 13, which is all our move, and we'll have to do a bog check, obviously. So we can do that. Bog check. I think we're bogged. Woods, I think, is a +3. Where are we here? We're not normal ground pressure. Those are pine woods. Those are pine woods. I think pine woods are considered light woods. The artwork, I believe, is pine woods, which are a little bit lightly less dense than the normal woods. No, it's only infantry. Infantry enter at cost of 1.5. What the hell is light woods? Entry of light woods. What is light woods? Does anybody know? Let's check the glossary. Well, the glossary is no help this time. It's in the book, but they don't have it as a description. What is light woods? Pine woods. Pine woods in the new book. Well, I'm going to assume that I'm bogged. So, yeah. So it's going to be half my firepower, which I already lost some because my bow is gone. So we're going to have 4 tripled, and halved is 12. So it's going to be 6 plus 4 is 10. Halved of that is going to be on the 4 table with the plus 4 because of the trench. So 4 up 4. No effect. And I am bogged. On the plus side, they can't fire out. So the gun is jammed. They could do a Panzerfaust check. I probably should have done that beforehand. They don't have. So it's fine. This guy here is fine. What's he going to do? I don't have any infantry around here that I can do anything with except for this guy. You're going to start off for 1. Pivot for 2. You're going to bypass for 5 because it's soft ground. And you'll stop there for 6. And you're going to fire your smoke mortar at the front. No effect. And you are done. You guys, I need a command die roll from this guy here. All right, he's in command. And then all the 7 zeros are too. All right, so the first dude here, manhandle. For unos. You guys are fine. Let's fire, I guess it'd be on the A table. with a +1 for the miss, -2 for hazardous movement, would be a net -1 on the 8. I just realized how stupid that was. I should have moved over here. Cowers. Rate is gone. So it's going to be on the 6, down 1 is a 3. I think that's a K2 anyways. Yeah, K2, so that crew's dead. And do we hurt? So yeah, well, that's gone too. Malft. I believe it's Malft. On the 6. No, it's gone. I believe it's gone. You are going to manhandle it into this location here. And then you're going to come up to this location up here. 2. And you guys finals. And then you going to come here for 1. If I late CX, I can come into the gully. You'd have to FPF to shoot me. And then I could advance up into crest status. So let's do that. Late CX into the gully. Where's my CX? Here we are. I don't think I want a CX or FPF, I should say. So I don't think I'm going to do that. You are going to advance into close combat, so I'll save that for later. You are going to do what? Do I overrun a half track? Start for 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this would be a total of 11, would be 15. I'd have to ESB for 2. And the US already have a bonus or a detriment. I think it's a +2 for ESB for US units. Zero. US has 0. Okay. So +2 to the ESB plus a bog check as well. You know what I never did? I never checked for activations. God damn it. I forget my own rules. I should have checked here and here when this tank moved for activations. This guy here would be a +1 for mist. -1 for move unit. Oh, wait, you're in a valley, so you can't see anyways. This guy here would be a +2 for mist. +1 for moving unit. Cancels. -1 for the TM inverted. Would be a net -2. -1. 2 or less. However, IFT diral modifier would be a +2. A net +1 with a +2 for miss, +3. -1. So there's no way you can activate. That miss is going to be a bitch for activation. This guy, however, could activate now. when I moved into that hex. So let's put a guy there. And we'll back up a bit and we'll activate him. See if he comes to. He will. And what do we get? We get a 5. Woods is a -1. Gets us a 658 leader support weapon and a half track. All right, so 658. Leader 8, which gets us a 8-0. First leader on the board, not too bad, I guess. And then we get a support weapon, which is going to be a LMG. And then we have a half track, another 250. 51-1. All right, first things first, we'll do a Panzerfaust check. Pinned, that's good news for us. So there's no point doing anything else. We'll just wait out. Nothing else can check, so no harm, no foul. We can move on. And let's go back to our decision here. What do we do with this guy? I'm really tempted to try an overrun on this guy. It's going to ESB for 2 points. I'll have to do a bog check. But if I live through all that, I'll be in a good position to get a flank shot on the Panther. Can I even do anything? Nope. Luckily, it's booby trap level B, which means I need an 11 to hit a mine. So I just skirted that by rolling a 12. Now, on the bad side, it means I'm panicked. So I'm not doing anything this round. So I'm not a mine booby trap attack, but on the other hand, I can't do shit. So we already have a 9-1 there. We have a 9-1 here. 7-0 with another machine gun, eh? Engineer. Let's assault move into the orchard. We'll advance into the trees. Add our firepower. That's going to help neutralize that half track. This is our flamethrower guy. So let's assault move into the open here. One, two. This would be 4 move because of the smoke. You would get shot with 16 firepower with a +1 for mist. 3 for the smoke. 1 for the wreck is 4. Down 1 for non-assault would be a +3 on the 16. +2 on the 16 because you have a flamethrower. If you lived, you can nuke it. Oh god, do I try it? One, two, three, 4 under the wreck. I would be taking a 16 +2 shot right in the face, and then I still have the barrel. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, Axie. I need to quaff another beer for this one. How are my dice rolls? Let's look at the dice rolls. I have zero faith in Dicebot, as you know. So this is what I've been rolling. Morale checks are shit. Other is shit. I've already got 3 12s, which are bad. Distribution, I do have the 18 and the 7, which is really good. I am rather low on the 3s, though. This is really bad because this has been where my... actually, it's my command rolls. That's not too bad, actually, at all. IFTs. IFTs are right in the middle. Not horrible. $96 dice rolls so far. Yeah, let's do it. What the hell? You know what I mean? We need to push. Let's go here for 4. See what they say. You know, with any luck, this guy's going to panic right now. Well, that's not a panic. All right, so let's fire, and we're going to do 16 up 2. Maybe break something. Right, so that's going to be a 9 on the 16. Should be a 1 or a 2. 9 on the 16 is only a 1 check. 747, we can take that. Really? Really? No, that's just a tease. Oh, I should have given him a 9-1. Well, I don't have any 9-1s for him. You got to come in with your leaders, and right now he just only have a 7-0, so. Well, that's good. Drew a little bit of fire. Let's bring in this guy here. He's going to assault move into that. You are going to... Oh, we got to put some residual down. That would be 8 residual in that location. You're going to assault move here for 2. Do I fire my main cannon at that? Activation. First of all, we have a +1 for Orchard, +1 for Mist. We have a -1 for Unit. -1 for TM is a flat 0. We have +1, +2, -1. We have a net +1 for IFT. So we have a net... Oh, we have this vehicle as well. So there's not going to be any way that these guys are going to be able to activate. Activate units. So we have no recourse except to maybe fire our main armament at this guy. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put my tanks down. Oh my god. Why do you guys watch me? They were camouflage and all that whiteness. Oh god. Forgot to put my tanks down. Can you believe that? All right. Well, I said it. Let's not do that. You're gonna find there with your bazooka, I guess. You guys. Let's go with, you're going to be crew exposed at start, button up. You're going to come on armored assault. We're going to move into here. And we're going to stop. I'm not going to bother firing because of that wreck and that smoke. It's going to be too much. You... Oh, I'm going to run out of space. I only got 3 hexes. So let's do you. You're going to need a command die roll. All right, so you're in command. You're going to move independent of the infantry. Let's move the infantry first. You're going to come here for 1. We have 2 potential locations that could activate. This would be a +1. 2 for Mist. -1 for non-assault is a net +1. Let me back that up. I'm going to use my half squad for this. That's what a scout's for, after all. We're going to CX, because we never know how far we're going to get. All right, we're going to come here for 1. We're going to come here for 3. Hey, Bugs. Good evening, buddy. So that's 3. Now, we do have activation potential for one of these two, as well as these 3 back here. Now, you, I think, are on a lower level. Let me turn that off for a second. No, that's all the same level. The infantry could fire, but I don't think I'm going to. Let's activate 1, 2. No, this would be +1 for miss, -1 on assault would be a 0, -1 for moving unit. 2 or less, 2 or less. This guy would be a +1 for mist, 1 for brush. -1 on assault is a +1. It would be a net 0. It would be a 1. This would be a 0, no chance. This guy would be a 1 as well. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a little randomness. So it's going to be QQ14 has a chance of dropping the bad news on us with one of those. That's going to be activation with a -1 is 6. So again, we're going to have a 658 and a half track. That is not an interior, so we can have a half track. I do have a rule in there that if it's an interior hex, you can't have a half track. So, which makes sense, obviously. Now we're going to fire all together. It's going to be on the 8 with a +1, +2 for mist, -1, so 8 up 1. That'll be no joy. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be RR15. Activation. We have a 6, so that's going to be a dummy. And therefore you will not be able to gain 1 again. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And QQ15. All right. AC is good. This -1 is an 8, which gets us a heavy weapon. We're looking at HMG or a medium. And it's going to be a heavy with a 348. All right, so that 7's going to be modified with a +1, 2 for the miss, -1. So again, a 6 up 1. And that'll be a 1 check. Can't handle the heat. That'll be ELR. And rate of fire. Now, ELR or residual fire will be a 6 down on the 2, down to the 1, missed Won't reduce it more, so we'll be a 1 residual there. All right, and then we can continue on. So we've only got 2 more spots left that could possibly activate, which is really good. So now we can move this guy here. You're going to come here for 1. If I use Armored Assault, I'll be protected from the heavy, which I think I want to do. I already rolled Command Die Roll for the tank, so we're going to use Armored Assault. We're going to come here for 1, 2 for the tank. This guy would now have a +1 for miss, 2 for the... Well, this guy would actually be +2 as well. So it's going to be a 6 up 3 now to hit this guy. 6 on the 6 is still a 1 check. Go fuck yourself. This fucking game. Another ELR. Right on the map edge. And rate. No residual this time. Tank is now free of that burden, I guess. So we're going to come here for... guess that would be 5. We'll stop there. These guys here, Command Die Roll. That will not be enough. The tank is going to panic, which really sucks. And the infantry will move independent. We'll go here for 1. Let's assault move, actually. We'll just assault move onto the board. This guy here is going to take an action die roll. He won't panic because he's elite. And we're going to fire back with a +1 for the wreck, 2 for the miss, 4 for the smoke. You're not going to fire back. You're just going to hang out. There's just too much line of sight hindrance for that to work. And this guy here, you're going to do the same thing. Actually, we'll move the 7-0 onto you. You guys are going to come onto here. And then we'll move the tank. You would have been hatches up motion, so let's go here. Then we're going to come here. Now, this is stupid because I just remembered he got Panzerfaust, which he does. And he's going to roll to hit, which he hits. And, oh my god. And it's a dud. Sigh of relief, but he has a second shot. One hex range is an 8. Missed is a +1. Large targets have -1 cancel, but its motion target will miss. He almost had me, but he rolled a dud round with that that first Panzerfaust. Yeah, really dumb to approach German infantry with tanks when Panzerfaust are in play. Lastly, we have this guy here, so let's move him to where? I guess we'll come onto the infantry here. This gives us another bazooka shot in the flank, and then we're going to bring this tank nowhere because he's panicked. All right, less than stellar, I must say. And defending fire. You're not going to continue firing. You have no shots. This Panther main armament. Let's fire at... Too much smoke. +1. 2 for the wreck. 4 for the smoke. Large target would be +5. Button up is +6. You need a 4 or less to hit. Or I could fire at this guy, which I may as well. He has a bazooka next door. Let's fire at the bazooka. All right, well, +1 buttoned up, +2 will be a 9. 2x range brings it down to a 7, so that's going to hit. And then on the 12 table, we have a 4, which would be a K something or other, I think, K2. 3 check. Okay, holy shit, does he breaks. Thought he made it. Sniper. We have a sniper. We have the East sniper that goes 3 for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to come in the course. It's going to land on this guy. The only guy possible that could not do anything, and he's going to break. It's a freaking game, I tell you. All right. Well, I think that's it for the advancing or defensive fire phase. Advancing fire. Let's do a 6 up 5. Coax bow. Why are my machine guns breaking everywhere? Infantry, nothing can work. My flamethrower was supposed to flame you, but I can't. Let's try this, I guess. We'll do a 6 up 2. A pinning task check on the infantry. Nope. Nothing on the crew. This guy can't really see. +3. And the main gun. That guy there, the main gun. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it is SS, it got you, but I mean, I don't know how else I'm supposed to represent 20 HIP units. Why else? Why wouldn't you set up like this if you're a German defender? You've got 2 choke points which you can force them. They have to come through, aside from going through the woods. I guess you would just avoid them and go through the woods, but you got armor. Armor can't go through the woods without bogging down, so. Maybe the answer is you don't buy armor if you're the Americans, and you just use infantry and you slog it through the woods. It's a shallow stream. It only costs 3 move to enter it. Yeah. This is very tough. I've made it too tough for the enemy to, or for the US to get on. $11 activations, so there should be 9 left, of which we can get a maximum of 3 more Panthers and 1 more gun. We've got 2 heavies. We can only get 2 more heavies, feasibly. Maybe I'm just pushing too fast as the Americans. You can see this guy, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can come this way. as well. Low crawl. Low crawl. Low crawl. I should have done a check here when he was here. Advance. Well, let's do a patsy. Jump on that little poor sap. Let's go. Do I put both guys in there? No. Let's put one guy there. One guy go sit here. This bazooka is gonna go here. You're gonna come here under the flame. I don't know why I'm doing this. DC. Let's put you into the flame as well. Try and throw DC on that guy. Everybody else move it closer. You're CX'd in the gully, so you're gonna come up to crest status. And I was supposed to throw in that crew, but that didn't happen. And I guess that is that. What do I do with you guys? Let's throw you guys here. Now, I should be making checks for adjacency as well. Do I have that in here? Anytime a unit expands movement MP or advances. I think I should write that in. In the advanced phase. Because I have chance for activation, which I've been missing. Let me do the house here. So this is going to be a plus, or I should say -2 for the TM. We have a -1 for the unit is a -3. +1 for the mist for the IFT. Strategic location is another -3, so it's going to be anything but a, well, no. A 1, it's going to be an automatic activation, or a placement. And then we just do an activation roll. All right, now I'm going to re-roll this because it's a 6. It should not be a 6. I don't like 6s in my strategic locations. I wonder if I can make a rule for that. Normally a 6 is automatically a fail, but I'm getting my ass kicked here, and I should probably take this thing off, but it just galls me that a strategic location is going to be rolling a 6. What the hell? All right, so that one is not employable anymore in that position. Where else have I advanced? I've advanced into here, which means I could get one in that location as well. Another 6. Now all the 6s are showing up. Um, You guys are all fine. I should have done this one here earlier, but that's fine. All right, so I think we're good with that. Let's go to close combat. And we have this one here, ambush terrain. I get a -1 for being a leader. So I'm at a 0, and the crew of the vehicle is at a 5, so I'm going to get ambush. All right, so I have a 5, extra leaders a 6 with a -2, so I need an 8 or less. And I managed to destroy the Haupttrack. Alrighty, and then we have this one here. These guys can attack if they can make their patsy, which they do. Now they're a crew, so they're going to be a 4. Ambush terrain. Well, that's a 6, and then the AFV is going to be a probably a 7, I would imagine, buttoned up. Vehicle +2, button up is +3, gives me a 7, and they rolled a 6. Yeah, so there's no ambush. They are a 4, so they need a 4 or less. I am bogged, so I guess I am immobile. So they get a -1. I could try ATMM. It is 44 after all. So they get a +1 to their attempt to get it. Yeah, may as well, eh? Let's see. Nope, no ATMM. So they're gonna get a -1 for being immobile. They need a 5 or less. All right, so they don't kill me. I can attack back. My BMG is disabled. I only have the coax anyways. So it's going to be 4 to 2, 2 to 1 odds. That's shit. And so they're not held in CC, but we're there. And that is going to be it for the turn of the second for the Americans. Now we'll do the Germans. All right. Let's get rid of that. Alrighty. Wind change RE. They have 5, 6, 7, so they should be good for RE. Yep. And for mist change, nothing. All right, now let's do rallies. Much needed rallies. They have 2, and they have this guy here. Nope. And I guess they could fix the gun. They're not like they're stuck in melee, so when that I was about to say, wouldn't that be funny? Guess what they're gonna do. They're not held in melee, but they're in close combat. Can you fix a gun while you're in close combat? Um, Let me check up on that. Just give me a second there, lads. Oh yeah, so they are in melee, so they cannot actually. I'm holding them in melee, even though, yeah, so they're not able to fix it. It's just kind of funny. All right, so for the Americans, that guy comes off. Let's fix that gun. All right, so we got the coax back, and then I got some rallying to do's. Let's get this guy here, the flamethrower, back in action. That's not the die. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, that'll work. Flamethrower's back, baby. Let's use it. This guy needs a 4. And this guy needs a 7. And then over here, these guys have to wait their turn. And then we go into the German prep fire. Let's start with... Yeah, let's start with those guys there. That is a fire command, but you really can't see shit, so you're not going to do anything, you. That's a move command, but you have a heavy weapon, so you're going to fire. Let's go a 6 firepower with a +1, 2 for the mist, 3 for the woods, 6 up 3. No effect. These guys here. Dire Straits. We do have 2 tanks, so let's do Panzerfaust. That would be yes, because it's 45 or 44, and it is an AFV. Wait. Did I calculate that? So it's a base 3. Yeah, that's not good enough. If it's 45, it's -1, so he does not have Panzerfaust. Could try again, though. All right, so he's no Panzerfaust. Used up his firepower, so unfortunately he's not able to attack. The half-track, however, can attack these guys with a 6 up. 1, 4, 3, 4... Wah. 7 on the 4. PTC. Well, they're pinned anyway, so that's something. Trick fire. That's a vehicle. Vehicles don't cower. Squad is not able to fire because it did its inherent firepower using Panzerfaust. So the half-track firing would not cower, which means that's going to be a 7 on the 6, which is an NMC, which means that squad is broken, but not ELR'd. Okay. Now the Panther here, he's got to do something. Now you have choice of targets. Let's fire the coax and the BMG at these guys. So it's going to be a 16. Let's fire the BMG here. What do we got anyways? A 6 up 2 in the BMG. No effect. Let's fire the coax here. That's going to be a 8 table up 3. 4. 8 up 4. Okay, no effect. Let's fire the main cannon at these guys. Do we want to do that? That would be +1 for the wreck, 2 for mist, 4 for the smoke. If I fire HE, I can't affect the tank. If I fire AP, I can't affect the infantry. If I fire AP, the tank would be, we said +4. Button up would be +5. Large target would be a +4. 6 or less to hit. Uh, 2x range. So buttoned up. Wreck is +2. Smoke is +4. Mist is +5. Large target's +4. And 2x range would bring it down to +3. Would be 7 or less to hit AP. So 0 hits all around. I think I have to intensive. I'm swarmed with enemies. I think I have to intensify to take out that Sherman. Now it would be an 8 or less to hit. With a +2 would be a 6 or less to hit. Chance of breaking my gun. But I'm swarmed with enemies, including a bazooka, and these guys can jump on me in hand-to-hand. With a demo charge sitting right here. I probably should have fired on these guys. Maybe I should fire on those guys now. What would that be? That would be a +2 for intensive, 3 for buttoned up, 4 for mist, with another +3 for the wreck and the smoke. -2 for range. Would bring it down to +5, 3 or less to hit. No, too late. Too late. What else we got? You guys here are going to prep fire at those guys, assuming you can do something. You can. And we're going to be on the 20 table up 3. 7, 8 on the 20 should be a 2. 8 on the 20 is a 2 check. And just a break. So they'll slide down and no rate. You guys are stuck in combat, and you guys here. We're going to do Panzerfaust check. That is a negative. Second is yes. So we need a +1 for the woods, 2 for the mist, 3. No. Large target will bring down to a +1. And we have a 7 or less to hit. I hit the turret. Turret is weaker armor, and anything but a 12 will kill. All right, so that's going to be a flaming wreck. And they are fired up. All right, now that was AP, so the infantry should not be affected by that. Or I should say, it was a heat round. I don't think heat leaves residual for the infantry. Let me check. Heat. Yeah, I can. 831 shape charge weapon. Well, I just did 12 firepower attack versus the no, 16 firepower attack. Jesus. Yep, collateral attack. Well, shit. Damn, 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 damn. All right, so that is an 8 on the 16, which I think is a 2 check. So I think I just broke, yeah, I broke my crew, which is fine. The important thing is I broke or killed a tank. That's the important thing. So they're prepped, and that's fine. Now we can go to their move, which they don't have any. You guys are hold attitude, which means you're not going to be moving anywhere. Defending fire now. Let's start with you. You have acquisition, so you need a command die roll. Now you're going to fire your 6 firepower machine gun with a +3. That'll be a 8 is a pinning task check. No. And now the main cannon. That should miss. Acquire twice. You are going to fire 12 up 2. That's a 10 pinning task check on these guys. They're fine. And then this guy here is going to fire 12 up 2. And then the main cannon. No effect. Acquire twice. Wait a minute. So we're buttoned up. +1 for mist. +2. Woods is +3. 2 hex range would be a +1. Yeah, that would miss. All right, my friend, you're going to try and loop a shot down the barrel. So I need a 9-1 here. Make a command die roll. And a bazooka shot for reals. That's going to probably miss. 1x range is a 10. 1 for missed. Large target will cancel, so that will hit. It's a hull hit, which sucks because I needed it to be a turret. Hull is 18. There's no way I can pen that. So that is a miss. Let's throw a DC onto that. Kerplunk. Now, we want to throw a DC, which means we have to try and throw it on. And that is going to be very difficult to actually land a hit. Where do we get that? DC position die roll. All right, so this is the position die roll. All right, so it's thrown as a +2 through the front hull as a +3. Brings that to a total of 9. Poorly positioned, no effect versus the AFE. Missed it by that much. Missed it by 1. 1 point. Unreal. Missed it by 1 point. Cannot believe that. Like having 0 luck. Oh well. I got a 747 assault engineer ready to jump on him with a 6 CCV. So we're going to do that next turn. No point attacking now. I could try fire. No, 75 is going to do shit against those guys. And that thing's dead. Nothing here. Let's fire this guy here, this 9-1. And we're going to fire +1, +5, +4, so 8 up 4. No effect. You. 12 up 4 or 5. That's no result. Pending task check. 1, 2. And then the main cannon. No effect. And that, unfortunately, is a summation of defensive fire. Advancing fire, none, and road phase. What is broken now? Unfortunately, too much. So, do we have room? Let's slow crawl 1 hex. You guys have to sink down into the bottom of the gully. You guys are fine. And then we go advanced phase. All right, so at advanced phase, I think we're going to start moving the Germans up a little. May as well. I think we've got the advantage now on the Americans. It makes sense to move out of our hold and into the attack a little bit more. So you're going to come here, stay there. Let's jump on here 1-to-1. Let's get rid of that. I still don't like my chances of a half squad versus an American tank. It's just not going to work out, so we're not going to bother. And then we'll go close combat. This location here, 1-to-1, we have ambush terrain, so the Germans are at 2, Americans are 1, no ambush, 1-to-1's at 5, and at 5. So each of them are combat reduced. Or casualty reduced, I should say. Flip to melee. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a rough go. It is 2 turns into a potential 10-turn game. We're sitting here at entering the American turn 3. Zero progress has been made, and I still don't even have 1 LVP. This one here will be mine. Well, it's not even an LVP, it's just a house. This one here I have to gain, fortified. This one here, nothing here yet. I think I approached this completely wrong as an American, so I'm going to have to replay this one. I think the concept is good as a strategy for the Germans to use the hip placement the way I did. I don't know if I made it too strong though. What we're looking at right now is there are 7 suspects left. We've got 8 activated and 5 dummies, which is not bad. So we have a looking at what a maximum of 15, and we said there was 14 possible units from the given orders of battle, according to the scenario here. We had each platoon has 2 heavies and 2 mediums, so that's 8 half squads, so 4 squad equivalents. Another 6 squads, so that's 10 between the infantry, and possibly 4 Panthers, not accounting for any depletion. So that's 14 counters possible, of which we have maximum right now 15 possible showing up. So I think the theory is sound the way I have it set up. I think I approached the battle incorrectly as an American. I never should have bought that second platoon of tanks. I think infantry is the way to go for the first day, and that's to push through the woods. Ignore the 2 choke points because, again, you've got a ford and you've got this road surrounded by woods. There's no way to get around this without running into death and death. Death here or death here. There's just no way around it. You can't drive through the woods with the tank without getting bogged down. You're limited by coming in through 4 hexes on either side of this arrow. And yeah, you're limited. You need to collect 1, 2, at least 3 LVP to win the scenario. And the only way to do that is with infantry, I think. So I think I'm gonna replay this one when I get back from KASL, which I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm gonna call it there. Almost 3 hours. As I said, I think the theory for the setup for the Germans, the hip, and all that is sound. I like the way this is shaping up here. And I'm happy with the way this table works. I don't think it's overpowered, though it may seem that way. I don't think it is. Maybe I'll tweak it a bit. But I think from an American strategy, I chose the wrong choice. I went armor heavy when I had no need to go armor heavy. I should have gone infantry heavy and just run through the woods. So I'm going to replay that, like I said, next week. Any rate, on other channel news, so as I said, you heard me say a couple times, I'm going to go to KASL in Ottawa, just down the road, about an hour and a half, tomorrow through Monday. So I'll be doing that. Probably not going to do any recordings of the events. I might do a couple of short videos while I'm there. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be my first tournament, so I'm going to be focused on that. And then I'm coming back Monday. Tuesday, I think I'm going to do singling campaign. I think I promised that one on that poll from last week. And some of you guys want to see that, so I'm going to do that. Finish off that one that I started about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm going to finish off that singling first day. And then we'll see how the rest of the week pans out. But I'm probably going to get back into this probably Saturday next week. But again, I'll let you guys know how that goes. Again, the Discord is going to be down there in the description of the video. We're up to, I think, 70 people in the chat. By all means, come on by. Again, if you guys are playtesting any of this stuff that we're doing out there, by all means, please let me know how it's going. If you're playtesting anything, let me know if you're running into any issues, if you have any questions. I know a couple of guys already piped up. Most of the conversations between me, Frank, and Don, as you've been seeing on the chat, a couple of guys have been piping up here and there. But if you're at all playtesting and you're watching this, please just drop me a line. Let me know how it's going and what your thoughts are on anything, okay? Because I really will take all that input, good or bad, and I'll make corrections as required. None of this is written in stone except for the Fest in Budapest, which has already been turned in to Scott at MFP. And then we're just waiting to see how that pans out and whether or not I have to make any revisions and on how that all goes. But that's going to be it for me for now. Thank you guys again very much for coming out. Been a long, what are we here? Thursday night? Friday night? No. Oh, I'm losing track of days. It's Wednesday. All right, guys. You have a good night. Oh, and we'll talk to you soon.